lovely morning today. The sun's shining really brightly outside, hardly a cloud in the sky. And if you'd watched my short, I think it was on Friday, you would have seen the decimation of our storms to my little plant nursery, which was very disappointing. But in comparison today, it's just like nothing had happened. So I will show you a little bit of B-roll from the little woodland behind the house. Might go for a little walk for a change. It's feeling a bit like spring today. As you notice, I've got my flat cap on. I love this flat cap. I used to work in British Home Stores, which is now gone, in the Trafford Centre in Manchester, and this was one of my acquisitions. And wear it down again, and as you know, the hair debacle continues. I haven't had it cut yet. So I thought, I love hats anyway. I'm a hat person, and I just dug out a book, a photography book I had done for myself. How long ago? Probably about 13, 14 years ago, maybe even a little longer than that, when I had a little photo shoot done in the centre of Manchester at the Piccadilly Gardens before they redid it. So there it is. That was a good, I loved that hat. It's gone now. It went to a friend. So did the coat, actually, because the coat I outgrew, as you do. And the red hat is kind of just went with it. It was a Kangol hat as well that I got some charity shop with the kind of plastic mold it came on. The beautiful, this picture here is beautiful. The photographer took it through the fountain from the other side. So I was standing on the other side of the fountain and he photographed me through the fountain. And those are two of my most favorite photographs. What I actually did with this particular jumper, which you would have seen on episode 12, when I told you what I made in 2022, as you can see, it's a tunic with a kind of a ruffle edge, a lacy edge, with a split hem, quite like that. And as you can see across the chest, there's a 4x4 patterning. I made this kind of snood. I never showed this online before. And it has a little square on top for the head in the 4x4, to match the round opening. But what I did on the bottom was put some elastic, because as you know, the wind just whips around your neck up here. This is a good way of keeping it here around the base of your neck. So yeah, so that's just plain stocking stitch with a hem turned over, an elastic put in it. I've not worn this yet. Could have done with that over the weekend. Yeah, so yeah, now I also didn't introduce on my episode 12 the jacket that I've been doing, because I haven't finished it basically anyway. You will have seen this in my little video where I was sat on the beach knitting back in October, when it was another of these beautiful days. In fact, it's a shame not to be down the beach today really, but I haven't got the car, so that's not going to happen. But I love this. This is another Kim Hargreaves design. It came from the Rowan number 29 magazine. Now, yeah, this goes back a long time, I know, but I want to show you that just because I'm showing you old patterns, I'm not going to be able to get that type of idea. Well, that's not true. I'm just going to share my screen now. Knitrow.com, Inside Rowan, Our Story, Our History and Covers. You can go through all the issues. That's actually a very nice top, that, with the cropped and simple hemline. But if I sweep down, I have this one as well, number 27. And I have number 29, which is where this pattern for the denim style jacket is. We're up to number 72 now, apparently. I think I may have had more over the years, but I think a lot of these are packed away somewhere. Anyway, we are up to number 72. Click on that one. Magazine number 72. Quite like that one there with the shadowy colours, the pinks and the peaches. And does that look like a minty colour? Well, while I'm here, let me go to my Pinterest page. Forward looking to 2024. One of the, now where was it? Colour trends I was looking at. As you can see, those are my colour trends that I've already picked out for my fabrics this year. But where's it gone now? There are some of the lilac tones, the lilac breeze combo. Oh, I was just looking at it before. Yes, I like that Urban Outfitters top. Now you could see, I could see myself knitting that in those sort of lovely lilac-y, hazy shades. No, it was this one here. That's it. The colour combinations of lilac, mint green, even this kind of highlighty yellow. And as I said last week, or was it the week before? Can't quite remember, but I do love a highlighty yellow. That has to happen. Going back to the Rowan magazines. That sort of powdery pink or pale orange and a sort of a minty green and white would be lovely together for that. Kids Silk Haze Celebration. Well, we all love a bit of mohair, don't we? So there we go. Oh, hello there. We're back. You know I like my oranges because I got these off the spools that I spun last week. Now, that one is the 3-ply and that one is the 2-ply. I actually knitted some swatches up for these. So that's a 4-ply swatch. I even tested the how many stitches in this 4-inch square there were and how many rows, and it was pretty much spot on. This is the double, again spot on the 4-inch swatch for a double knit, and this was the Aran, which is what I'm trying to achieve to be able to make the hoppy sweater. So I'm very pleased with that, and I'm now working towards that. But going back to my denim cardigan, I have done a bit on that this week. In fact, actually, I have done the back. Now, this yarn is one of my Mardal yarns. And it has that kind of denim-y, and bring it back a bit, a denim-y blue colour in it called Robin's Nest. And I got this from Uppingham Yarns. And I think it was one of their superwash cones. I think. I might have to check and put it on the screen for you. And also in the colour range in here is the Robin's Nest, Slow, which is a very deep, dark damson colour. They're both 4 plies in the Uppingham yarn superwash, question mark. And also in there is this, as I said, a highlighter yellow. Now this highlighter yellow is going to be used again because I absolutely love it. It's a merino, and I got this from Uppingham Yarns, and I think it's in the 1 ply, and it's Italian, but it's a beautiful yarn, lovely colours. But the little white kind of fleck isn't the white again. I've used this cone an awful lot, and it's got a little bit of white cotton in it and some pale, very pale aqua, which gives it a kind of a slight tweedy effect. And everything you knit it into, because it's a very lace weight, it just gives it a little tweedy effect, which I like. So it has a moss stitch hem. As you see, you've got a panel of reverse stocking stitch. In the middle, you've got stocking stitches with the knit pearl. This is the pearl knit. You have a little ridge of knit 2, then a pearl 1, and in this section, you start increasing every few rows according to your size, so that you get that panel on the back. When you get up to the sleeve area and you've shaped the sleeve, you stop there, and for the rest of the garment it is straight stocking stitch, or stockinette as people like to call it. And the shoulders I've actually done myself using a short row system, which I quite like. So that's the back finished on it. I'm now working up one of the sides. I think it's the left front now. And Kim Hargreaves doesn't really do, at this point, I'm not sure what she's been doing recently, but she's more likely to do pieces so that you sew them together. So this is another way. Now I've slip stitched at the beginning of the row, and what I intend to do with that is, instead of seaming from the inside, I'm going to crochet up these loops to join the back to the front, and that gives a lovely lovely seam. So I'll show you that when I've done it. Again, you've got a moss stitch border here. Ooh, that's the back, sorry. You've got a moss, you can see the patterning, can't you? The moss stitch border there with the 2 knit 2 borders, and every so often now you increase to widen out that pattern, and also because you've started from a narrower waist to go to your chest, it'll just give it a slight increase up until the chest measurement. I've left 7 stitches on a safety pin because the border will be knitted separately on smaller needles. I did start this on a size 9 or 3.75. These are 4 mils. Yeah, so I'm taking a break a bit because I'm doing this one because I've got to that stage in my Carol Feller jumper where we're doing the sleeves and it's on a circular needle, and I wouldn't say I get bored, but I find it's I don't find that easy. And you pick the stitches up here and you knit downwards. I'll show you that in a minute. This is my little cake of yarn. I want to show you what I'm talking about when I've wound this up. So you've got Robin's Nest, Slow, what else have we got? The cotton acrylic and this beautiful merino at the bottom. Just such a lovely combination, isn't it? So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Put that to one side. Now last week I caked up this yarn, didn't I? You saw the little video on episode 17. This is episode 18, and this was my yarn, and that involves an apricot merino, which came from, I think this came from Colourwork. Strange feeling this came from Colourwork. So I've now caked up everything that I've got. Now that the apricots run out, I've only got some of the reds and the black left. So how are we doing with the jumper? Now the jumper, let's put the right side. This is the front. And this is the back. And this bit I love. This has been done in short rows. And it curves down. See? It curves down to a low hem. And all of that's been done in short rows on stocking stitch. That's the kind of stitch that she designed for the body. As you can see, my circular needle hanging down there is because we're doing the sleeve. I've picked up all the stitches around the armhole and I'm now starting to work down the sleeve. So I'll let you know how I get on with that in due course. I went to spinning class on Saturday and I managed to do a 50-gram, just measured that this morning, a 50-gram of yarn, spun that yarn from the Cheviot, the blackface Cheviot that I got the other week. I said I would probably take that to class and have a go with it. And I'm just going to do that when it's just got a bit caught up. But I wanted you to see, although it's very wiggly, as it always is, slightly damp at the moment because how that is very much a 4-ply. It's a single yarn. It's a single ply in the sense that it's only one thread. I've spun one thread, and that's a 4-ply. Now, 2 of those plied together, a 2-ply, would be the same weight as a DK, a double knit. Probably even more of a worsted, being that I think I've done this a bit thicker. Still done it a bit thicker. But it took me a good few hours because I took my time to do this. Now I'm on to a second bobbin, which will probably take me a couple of hours, an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah. I did some for an hour last night and broke the yarn at one point and thought, right, I'm going to leave that till tomorrow. I'll do a bit tomorrow. So that's on the spinning front. Last week I was completing my Aran weight jumper. I think I was working on sleeves last week. Well, I actually finished it. And as you saw from the end video, the finished objects video, I have finished it. And though I say it myself, I think it's lovely. It's very heavy, but that is great for the wings here. It's going to fit nice. I've tried it on the model, and I know anything that's on the model fits me because I've got that sussed now. So look at that, beautiful front, the back, knit 2 purl 5, which goes onto the sleeve, same thing. And the welt of the sleeve is about 6 inches in a very, what did I call it last week? I think it was a half twist. So I only knit through the back of the knit stitch on both sides, basically. And I've done the same for the collar. The collar is more of a funnel, so I started picking up all the stitches round on a bigger needle, probably the same size as that. I think it was a 6mm. And as I got to the top, it was drawing in nicely in this half twist rib. Then I changed to a much smaller needle, which gives it that funnel shape, and then finish the rib there and just stocking stitch to the end with a normal cast off, or as you might call it, a bind off. I hear that word a lot, bind off. That's one we tend to use cast off, the word cast off. Traditionally, I'll put that word in, traditionally. As you can see, the raglan is a knit 1 purl 1 raglan, and it actually goes right up to the top, so that when you pick up the stitches, there are only that one there left of the actual sleeve. Time's gone past. We went right up to the last 3 stitches and knitted them together. I don't know if I see that often these days, but that's I've made that more of a traditional style, but and it was all sewn together again as well. What I'm going to do with that one, because I haven't done that already, I was waiting for a nice day, a bit like today, where I could hand wash it, soak it for a while, and then in some hot warm water. There's not enough hot enough to felt it, but or shrink it, but to wash it and then block it out on the grass. In the very old days, that's what they used to do, was block things out on the grass, or they had a frame. Yeah, sometimes they used to dry the fleece out on the grass as well, so I believe. Yeah, so that one's finished. Am I going to finish the Carol Feller jumper this week? I don't think so. The sleeves, as I say, I find a bit long-winded when it's done on a circular needle. It's because I don't enjoy doing it on the circular needle. Yeah, so I think that's it this week. What have I got planned for next week? Well, I'm continuing to do some more spinning. I'm waiting for some Tussar silk to come, which I bought on eBay. It hasn't arrived yet, and I think that's mainly because we had storms all week last week. And I am told the shelves in Tesco's were pretty empty because the boats couldn't get over with the food. And of course, obviously, if it was that windy, we wouldn't have had that many flights either. So, although I tell you, sometimes these pilots are just amazing, I think, how they endure some of the weathers we get. I have much admiration for the pilots who fly the Highlands and Islands planes. The mail planes, the mail must get through. It does generally. This one I'm having to wait for, this Tussar silk. And this Tussar silk is made up of lots of different colours. It's a random selection and it's a big bag of 500 grams. So I am kind of looking forward to that because I've got to blend that in to some of the mohair so that I can get a lovely softness to my Hopi sweater and the colour work on the Hopi sweater. Oh, Colourwork. See, you reminded me of something. Hang on a minute. Yeah, acquisitions. Forgot about acquisitions, although the Tussar silk sort of sits in that category. I bought this on, was it Amazon? I think it was Amazon, yeah. It's a vintage book by Interweave Press. I don't know if you can get hold of this one. It's by Roxana Bartlett, Slip Stitch Knitting, Colour Pattern the Easy Way. And it was published in 1998. Well, that was the text. Yeah, text and photography, copyright 1998. So there you go. Slip Stitch Knitting. Now, if you want to do colour work the traditional Fair Isle way, you knit with 2 yarns, which are I can't think of the word now, but which are carried with you as you knit across the row. Now, with slip stitch knitting, or mosaic knitting, I think is what they want to call it these days, is much similar to mosaic crochet. You have 2 lines of one colour and 2 lines of a contrast colour, and you slip stitch on one row and slip it back on the next row to create the pattern. It does tell you how to achieve that in here and how to make your own designs, which is what I'm sort of more interested in, is making my own designs. I did I did do a blanket in mosaic crochet which had a horse pattern on it, so I like this might have to go in something. I like that kind of design. And obviously you have those kind of designs as your colourwork designs. So I don't know if you can get hold of this. This was the last one available from, I think this was Amazon. I really do think this was Amazon. And so I'm pleased to have got hold of that. I've also, just as a final thought, I've also been working on some relaxation videos. We were talking about slow living last week and how I talk about it, but I should be living it. So I decided to look into creating my own relaxation video. I quite often try to go to sleep at night watching, well, not particularly watching, but listening to some of the relaxation videos on YouTube. But like I said, I have a lot of photographs, and quite a lot of the time the photographs are not to my taste, perhaps. I like things with birds and beautiful vistas, mountains, water. Yeah, I like water, rivers. I've picked out a lovely background, some lovely background relaxing music, and I'm going to trial it out this week. Before I publish it on my channel to allow you to try it out. Then it's kind of like a relaxation video that you can either relax in bed to help you to sleep, or this particular one I think I'm producing at the moment is one for when you're knitting and you want to do some relaxation knitting. So stuff like arrow knitting, colourwork knitting, all that kind of thing is pretty, doesn't sort of fit into the brackets of relaxation to me. You need to concentrate on it. Relaxation knitting, I would probably say, is stuff you could take to the beach and knit, like I was doing. If you enjoy doing just garter stitch and stockinette or stocking stitch, as I would call it, that's the kind of relaxation knitting I'm talking about, you know. It doesn't require a lot of thinking about, and you can just sit quietly listening to the music and just letting knitting needles do the work and just dream. Sit and dream. Breathe out and imagine yourself on a journey somewhere. So I've put together a little video of a few of my photographs from the Outer Hebrides. I wouldn't say the quality of them was very good because I didn't have a good camera, a good phone camera. A lot of my photographs that I've been showing are all done on my phone camera, and my phone camera is, the one I've got now is even better than the one I had on my Samsung Galaxy. but yeah, they're not, I don't think they are as good, but they'll give you the atmosphere of living in the Hebrides, the sea, you know, things like that. The Calinish stones, the yachts in a calm harbour, as if that happens very often, but it does actually, because it is quite well sheltered around there. And the mainland, Ullapool, and the mountains behind, and the marina when you get off the ferry from Stornoway to Ullapool. The little town village of Ullapool is very quaint, very picturesque. So I have a little picture of that. So perhaps next week, after I've trialed it a few times, in episode 19, we might give you a little blast of it and see what you think before I actually publish the full version. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little ramble this week. I've not had many views on my last few videos. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong, or if I'm doing anything wrong, or I'm just catching the wrong time of the week, or you're looking for more petite knits. I've not really done any petite knits, but if you go on my Ravelry page, which is Claire Lydia Ray, it also has my other handle I used to use, Clary Fairy. You will see some of the patterns I've got in my favourites, my wish list to do. A lot of them involve merino underwear, mainly because I'm always looking for patterns that are useful for the climate I live in. Anyway, take care of yourselves as usual, and hopefully I'll see you next week. March, from the 1st of March, I'm going to reduce the amount of videos I'm going to publish, probably to 1 or 2 a month, because over the summer period my life gets busier. So during the winter, well, as I say, I hibernate. And as it gets like this now, my energy levels start to rise. So anyway, this afternoon I shall go and do a little filming of in the woodland behind. We will be working on the greenhouse in due course to get that back.